Real quick, I've just finished Act 3 of Immersive Theater for Psyche. I want to make a quick guide on what I used and some of the core demon wedges that I've used to get all the way up to here. Most of the teams that I've used are free to play. You can get basically every character from just the story and login bonus and all that stuff. But I did have to farm for one character, the Gunslinger Lin, this one. I haven't tried with Maji. I don't really know what she does. I think it's way better to just farm out a Lin and like slightly invest into her. As you can see, I've barely done much. The weapon's not the signature and the melee's not even right. But all you really need is the right demon wedges and just her ult. And that will carry you through the later stages. But if you're looking to just do the first few stages of the classic repertoire from Act 1 all the way to, say, like Act 5, it's pretty easy. You level caps at 40, and you can definitely do it with a half-ass team. Since most of you will probably have built, you know, Benny or Veronica and Rebecca, you know, AFK farm and first character you get basically. This is the two people that I used to clear. Rebecca's really good for the early stages because they don't have much health, and once you start building stacks on, the bosses and the ads basically just like melt in 5 seconds. I didn't really start struggling until Act 6. This one was a bit harder. And then Act 7, if you could beat Act 6, you're gonna be fine on Act 7, basically. But here, you can see the first two teams I used. It's just a hyper carry team. These two weren't built, neither were these two when I did this content. Veronica, with the ult, can easily clear all of her wings, and clearing the wings will deal a lot of damage to her. Same in Act 7, Veronica used to clear out all the wings on the butterfly, and this one is just Rebecca's jellyfish being jellyfish. Pretty simple, not much to say. I do recommend holding off until you're at least level 45, so that you can go farm out the proper demon wedges. The demon wedges will help you a lot. I had to stop some of my attempts to go dedicate some time farming for my demon wedges as well. Mostly the Serenity. You've probably heard a lot of people talking about this one already, but if you can get a Serenity for Veronica and a Serenity for Rebecca, it would really help you clear out. Like, these two are game changers. You've heard everyone else say it, I'm saying it now as well. Farm out one of these if you can. Another thing I farmed out was the skill duration, but you don't really need this one. This one's for the later stages when you're trying to farm for the Psyche secret letters. This isn't necessary for the first stage of Immersive Theaters. Let's see what else. A couple demon wedges. These ones, you can get these at level 45, if I remember correctly. But this one's really good. This one, basically, when Veronica's in skill, she just gets free crit chance. And then, yeah, this one, also really good for Rebecca. It's just free skill range and attack speed for the jellyfish. This will dramatically increase your damage. For the later stages on Immersive Theater, when you're farming for Psyche in the featured repertoire, you will need a Bio DPS, or Pyro DPS, sorry, because the damage reduction that these guys get if you're not using the recommended elements is a bit crazy, right? Regeneration pulses while any elemental bonus effective is active. This is really easy to proc if you're using the recommended damage type. And then, yeah, Lin's also really good on the entire feature repertoire, because you get this this little buff here. Every 5 minutes of damage dealt by any ally grant 1 stack of 10% skill damage. All she's doing is skill damage, basically. For Act 2, this was where things got really hard for me. I had to level up my entire roster, basically, all my combat partners and my 2 main DPS. I had to completely replace and build up again. So on the left for Heroes Odyssey, I used Lyn with like just any weapon, really. It doesn't really matter, because all you're using is her Q to do DPS, and it basically just turns them into like shredded cheese. Same with this one here. I used Outsider. You can get him for free just by playing the story. If you have his signature, it's a really good one. Otherwise, any weapon will work. I was doing some build crafting on the 3rd stage, and I forgot to change the weapon back, and I still managed to clear it 5 stars with like a couple minutes left on the clock. My characters, for the record, aren't even like that high leveled. Outsider was level 50. Here's the skills, 333. No investment into anything. Here's the demon wedges in case you want to copy them. And here's the demon wedges for the weapon that you should be using. And here's the demon wedges for the gun. I barely used the gun on him, so it doesn't really matter. Here's Rebecca. I do have on Intron 1, but it's a pretty Intron to get, easy Intron to get. And for your skills, I've fully invested 666. Even though she's not good at actually dealing with the bosses later on, she's really good at cleaning up the weaker ads that Outsider like drops out of his attack range, right? So here it's just for here the first 4 stages are just Lyn, you press Q, look around, everything dies. It's pretty easy. This one is you kind of need to play around the jellyfish. You kind of need to use Outsider's basic stacks to sort of group them into jellyfish, so that the jellyfish can build up on them, and they can start, when Outsider kills them, you can start passing around Rebecca's poison debuff to other people, get them down quicker, right? You might struggle a little bit on the later stages. I know I had cut it close on stage 4, because there was a lot of elite enemies spawning. There was the Thunderlords and Phantoms who spawned the clones of them. Those clones got me sometimes. I'd just be like brainlessly clicking and not paying attention. Your support, these ones also come from the story quest. You should be able to just get them by playing the game. You can build them up if you want. I didn't really notice much help from them. I don't even know if they did much. It really just felt like a more hyper carry. Or I guess not hyper carry, but it felt like a duo playthrough, you know, between Outsider and Rebecca, and Heroes Odyssey was literally just Lyn. Some tips for dealing with the butterfly, because normally I would use a ranged character, you know, like Lyn, like Veronica with the Q. The sword just shoots out a lot of beams and you can kind of just ignore the wings. But Outsider's main kit involves a lot of just basic attacking, right? But his E, his whole kit revolves around his E and Q, right? Where you want to E 5 times to get 10 Fang Spikes out, and then Q to take them all back in and gain your Relentless Hunt buff. But the Fang Spikes actually deal a good amount of damage to the wings. By tapping 5 times, I was able to break the wings, all 4 wings, and get my free critical hit or visceral or whatever it's called. You know, the hold F button or tap F. Other than that, I think, yeah, I'll just go with the builds here. Here's Veronica's build. These are the two demon wedges that I said were really good and a must-have. And here's the build for the Q. Here is Lynn's build. A lot of these, this one is the only one that I'd say is like strictly necessary. A lot of these are just, you know, plus attack, plus skill damage, that sort of stuff. Skill duration is personal choice because it has to do with the passive stacks, passive timing. You can up it if you want, otherwise don't up it. All that matters, or all that'll change is like how much time you actually spend in her queue, shooting people. And here's her skills, 4x5 with these traits, no introns, and then here's Truffle and Filbert. I don't know what she did. She was just there for moral support. And here's Daphne. Not much going on at all. Another thing to keep note of is this Demon Wedge in the middle here. This actually increases your tolerance cap, right? Increases the character's max tolerance by 2.5 times the Demon Wedge's required tolerance. You can get these by the what's it called? Sorry. Is it here? Yeah, you can buy them here at the Lunar Explorer. You need to do some, you know, exploration for the currency, but it's 1 each. A lot of these are also not that good, so you don't have to buy all of them. You can just buy the ones that you think you'll use. The ones I bought and used a lot is this one here, Rescue. When casting ultimate skill restores HP. This is just a little bit of bonus healing if you're not running a healer. This one here. Wait, no, not that one, sorry. Where is it? This one here, performing a dodge deals pyro damage. This one's good on Lynn if you're not in a queue a lot. I haven't tested to see if the E counts as a dodge yet, but if it does, then yeah, use this one. This one's probably best in slot. Or instead of that one, you could use where is it? Hold on, I have it on her. You could use this damage taken rate plus 50%. I'm pretty sure this is half damage taken. I'm pretty sure, because if it was just like, yeah, this is half damage taken. But you know, since you're standing there killing everything, when you're against the boss, you can't one-shot it. So having any damage taken to you is really good. I'd also recommend running her with a healer. That's why I put her with Daphne, even though she's got a passive that increases. Where is it? Here, bonus and emo damage, even though she's got this. I don't know who else heals, but all of the other characters that would heal, I think you have to farm for anyway. So, you know, it works. You don't want healing on Outsider anyway, because he's entirely self-sufficient on field. And I think that's it. I can show you my melee weapons as well. This is all I used. This is all I used here as well. You can use a lot of, like, you don't need many high invested melee weapons, because most of the time for me, I just end up using the, like the passives instead of like the actual weapons. So, you know, skill duration, you can put these on Rebecca. This one you can put on your like off-field support like Daphne or Truffle. And this one you can put on your main DPS if you want, but I don't bother. I don't have many things that work with trigger probability yet. But yeah, I'm going to attempt the 3rd stage of Immersive tomorrow, and I'll probably make another video depending on how that goes. Alright, goodbye.